My heart rate was at one point in the 200s. I was like severely palpitating. And every night I have journals filled with, I don't know if I'll make it till the morning. I thought I was gonna die every single night. And went from doctor to doctor to doctor. Went to 5 different doctors. Nobody ever once suggested that it could be menopause.
Unfortunately, that story is pretty common, and some doctors do not relate the symptoms to this transition. Up to 40% of women experience palpitations during perimenopause. Hormones affect everything: your metabolism, your heart, and your brain. As a lifestyle psychiatrist, I see many women presenting with mental health issues.
You know what? Menopause is hell.
It is.
Jimmy.
Is it really?
Menopause is a dark hole.
Perimenopause sucks. It really does. There's no other way to describe it, and it's because your hormones are just going all over the place, up and down, up and down.
Your hormones are going up and down, but it's also a biological storm happening at the cellular level. There is inflammation in your brain, your gut is out of balance, your mitochondria are struggling to make energy, and that's why you feel exhausted, anxious, foggy, and just off. This is why stabilizing your blood sugar, eating an anti-inflammatory diet, prioritizing sleep, and managing stress can make a massive difference.
Questions were terrifying. They were asking me things like, are your ears growing and there's hair coming out of them? Are you growing mustache and a beard?
Wow.
Are you easily irritable? Are you crying for no reason? Are you gaining a lot of weight really fast that doesn't go away no matter what you do? Are you shrinking?
Right.
And then they ask you, is your vagina dry?
I think when you get into perimenopause, you notice a lot of changes. I can feel the hormonal shifts happening, the sweating, the moods, you're just like all of a sudden furious for no reason.
One minute you're fine, the next you're sweating, furious, or crying, and you have no idea why. That's not just hormones. That's a neurological and metabolic shift happening in your body. That's why you should consider optimizing your diet with protein and healthy fats, taking your omega-3 fatty acids and magnesium, and cutting back on ultra-processed foods. Deep breathing, mindfulness, and exercise are also necessary to help you regulate the stress hormone cortisol.
It's something else that I really want to bring attention to. I just turned 50, and I think a lot of times as women, we don't really talk about the mental aspect of perimenopause and menopause. And I get it, black don't crack, and we look good as we age, and it's a lot of times women try to hold on to their youth, but at the same time, we need to talk about what happens during perimenopause and menopause. You really have mental, I heard you talking earlier, Sharon, and everyone, on the panel about, having these thoughts of taking your life or even trying. I just had that not just recently, and I was like, oh my God, I think I need to have my hormone levels checked, but someone had to tell me because we just don't talk about it as women. We don't. And I didn't even know that was going on. I thought that my depression and my anxiety was getting worse, because of where we are in the world. And a male friend told me because another female friend of his at the same exact age started complaining about being in a fog and slipping into these deep, dark places, and he was the one that said, have you had your levels checked? And I was like, didn't even think about it. And that frustrated me as a woman because we need to share these stories. Menopause is more than just dots and hot flashes.
As a lifestyle psychiatrist, this resonates a lot with me. I'm glad Taraji highlighted the mental health symptoms of perimenopause, which no one talks about. Anxiety, irritability, brain fog, and mood swings. Also the insomnia, depression, and even alcohol use disorder. The worst part is most women and some doctors don't even know these mental health struggles could be connected to menopause. Please know that you're not crazy and you're not alone. There are treatment options: hormones, therapy, lifestyle changes, non-medication treatments.
Can I tell you something? I know almost nothing about the female body. I don't know where anything
and you're
goes.
not the only one.
Is that true?
You're not the only one. When you talk about anything, especially dealing with menopause or breasts,
forget it.
Men just die a slow death.
I know this is going to sound like a very stupid question, and it is a very stupid question, especially for a man my age.
No, go ahead. Hit me with it.
What is menopause?
So I either will love my husband today or kill him today.
Oh, no. How long does it last?
You know what? Somebody needs to tell me because it's lasted now for about 6 or 7 years. But the other day, my husband said, V, can you take this bowl and put this in the sink? I said, oh, sweetheart, yeah, let me see the bowl. Let me put it in the sink. And then 5 minutes later, he looked at me. He said, V, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. Are you sure you're okay? Because I found that bowl in the refrigerator. Please tell me you're not going crazy.
But you might be going crazy.
No, I'm not going crazy.
You walk into a room and forget why you're there. You set your keys down, and 2 seconds later, they've vanished. You start a sentence and completely lose your train of thought. It's not just getting older. This is menopause brain fog, and it's happening at the cellular level. Studies show that in addition to the decline in estrogen, brain inflammation, gut dysbiosis, and mitochondrial dysfunction contribute to brain fog.
When I started trying to have children, which was age 36, the word was said to me based on a blood panel that indicated my hormones were not in a great place for conceiving. So my doctor said, you could be close to menopause. I panicked. I went into a scary place and kind of spiraled.
For most women, perimenopause begins between 35 and 45, with subtle symptoms creeping in slowly. So many women don't even realize the body changes they're experiencing are due to perimenopause. Symptoms can be dismissed for years. Fatigue, anxiety, insomnia, brain fog. You may think they're just due to stress and aging. So if you're in your 30s or early 40s and something feels off, it's not your imagination. Get yourself checked.
Myths need to be debunked. There's so much misconception out there. The things I didn't know about menopause were that you do return to your best self, because as I entered it, I thought, oh, well, it's all downhill from here. And that's not the case. You get yourself back. And I tend to think that it's your better self.
One of the biggest myths of menopause is that it is the end of feeling like yourself. It's not. It's a transition. And even though it can feel like a storm, there are solutions to get you feeling better. The key is to support your body through this transition. Reduce inflammation, boost your mitochondria, and improve your gut health. Consider strength training to boost your metabolism and strengthen your bones. Consider supplements like B vitamins, vitamin D, magnesium, and omega-3. The goal is to thrive, not just survive.
Many of us are from that generation where our parents or grandparents didn't talk about it. And now we're realizing, well, that wasn't helpful.
Your mom likely didn't talk about menopause. Your grandma didn't talk about menopause. And now you're in the middle of it, wondering why no one warned you. Silence has left too many women suffering alone. 80% of women experience menopausal symptoms, yet most were never educated on what to expect. 1 in 4 women say their symptoms are severe enough to impact daily life. And suicide rates peak in women aged 45 to 54, often during perimenopause, when hormones are all over the place and mental health is at risk. We have to change the narrative.
You know, it's the taboo subject that nobody talked about. And I was like, Mom, why didn't you tell me more? But it's the conversations she never had with her mother because her mother never had them with her. You know, and it's just a litany of generations that have closed the story at this point in time, which is ridiculous because it's just the bookend of puberty.
Puberty? I'm sure you got the talk. Pregnancy? There are books, classes, and advice from everyone. Menopause? Silence. For generations, women have been left to figure it out alone, struggling through the physical and mental symptoms with no idea what's happening to their bodies. It's time to advocate for yourself. If a doctor won't listen, find one who will. Consider hormone therapy if that's an option for you. Support your body. Nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress management can transform how you feel.
Now let's share the wisdom and let's share the conversation and throw the ladders down to the younger generation so they can be better equipped.
We owe it to the next generation. Imagine if you knew at 35 what you now know about menopause. Would it have saved you years of confusion? Would it have helped you understand your body before the perimenopausal struggles? So let's change that. Inform younger women about what's coming. Perimenopause can start as early as 35. They deserve to know the signs. Normalize the conversation. Menopause affects half the population. Let's not let another generation suffer in silence. We can rewrite the story so the next generation thrives.
There's that whole thing that's out there in the zeitgeist. You know, women who are in menopause are crazy, and then women are crazy in general. And so I think for women to kind of push up against that, and therefore the stigma, I think, will go away if women feel empowered and feel like there's not something wrong with them if they talk about these.
Unfortunately, society has created the impression that women are just overreacting and should learn to live with their symptoms. But here's the truth. Menopause is a neuroendocrine event, not a personality flaw. It's time to push back on the stigma. It's time to empower women. The more we talk about it, the more we normalize this transition, and the more women get the support they deserve. So let's inform other women and men. In the meantime, if you're looking for a community that gets it, join the free Empower group where women like you find support, answers, and real solutions. The link is in the description below.